Ohio Northern University began in 1870 as the Northwestern Ohio Normal School. The original curriculum was designed to provide students with a liberal arts degree and train teachers. Students were required to take courses in geography during their first year, along with history of the United States and the science of government during their second year. Other courses included parliamentary law, political economy, and international law. In their fourth year, students were also required to take the history of Herodotus. Departmental classes were held in a variety of buildings, but by 1917, Hill Memorial was the location of classes in what would become the Department of History, Political Science, and Geography. Hill was built in 1879, and over time it was held both classrooms and administrative offices. After two fires, the modern building has a different appearance than the original. The first blaze was on December 23, 1889, caused by candles and a careless student. The second, more destructive fire occurred on November 4, 1913, and this fire reduced the building to its outside walls. Hill was rebuilt by decreasing the building's height to 2 floors and erecting an internal iron frame to carry the load of the floors. This work was completed in October of 1914, and the building was renamed as Hill Memorial. After working out the variety of buildings, the Department of History and Political Science moved back into Hill in 1970. Faculty by the name of Quackenbos taught history, Russell taught geography, and Alden taught government. Aside from Alden, the names were different the next year, and first names were not listed, so these early teachers appear to have been hired on a contingent basis. The school was a normal school, dedicated to training teachers for grade school before high school attendance became mandatory. Prospective teachers were required to take courses in school organization, the essential qualifications of the teacher, best methods of imparting instructions, and other courses to prepare them teaching. History became a major in 1910 under Professor Frederick McGlott. Political science debuted as a major in 1916 under Professor Lawrence Loughman. According to handwritten notes on the electronic copy of the 1916 to 1917 catalog, Loughman was paid $1,200 per year, as was Professor Davison, who taught history. History students were required to take 10 courses in the discipline. By 1916, history majors took 36 credit hours, plus another 6 for those students who wished to teach. Political science majors that year were required to complete 45 credit hours. By 1933, the interdisciplinary feature of some of our majors had been set. The political science majors were required to take 9 hours of history, along with 24 hours in their main concentration. In 1940, the history major required 9 hours in American government. The history major retains some of this, and current majors are required to take Intro to American Politics and World Regional Geography, while political science majors may take Intro to Geographical Information Systems to satisfy part of their program. During the 1971 to 1972 year, both history and political science majors were required to take 48 hours, which included 9 hours from other majors. In 1980, the department added the public administration major, which was replaced by the international studies in 1986, which was dropped in 2011. Dr. Joanne Scott created the criminal justice major in 1987, and it would be housed in the department until it was taken over by the psychology and sociology department in 2013. Professor Ray Shuck created the public history and museum studies minor in 1997 and has directed it since. Social studies became the last major added to the department, offering in 1989. Before then, students who wished to teach majored in history or political science and then took additional pedagogical coursework from the educational department. Attempts to create the geography major have so far failed to gain traction from the administration, but it remains a minor. Until recently, most students at ONU were required to take some coursework from the department as part of the general education requirement. In 1917, students seeking a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science were required to take 3 courses from each discipline. By 2005, general education program required most students to take Western Civilization 1 and 2. After the reorganization of the General Education Department in 2011, better known to the department as the Death Panel Report, students are no longer required to take specific courses from the department. The work of educating students can and has been carried out in the various buildings on campus, and the curriculum has changed over the years. But the strength of the HPSG has always been in its faculty and students. Wilfred E. Binkley, who served as the professor of both history and political science at ONU for 45 years, is still one of the most prominent faculty members to ever serve in the department. He began at ONU as a graduate of the department in 1903 and spent a considerable part of his life serving it. Binkley began teaching at ONU in 1920 and left the department in a manner that dedicated faculty members would probably like to go out. He died on December 8, 1965, while monitoring an examination in Dukes Hall, and therefore got out of grading those exams. During his career, Binkley gained distinction for the department and university by serving as the president of the Ohio Academy of History and the Midwest Political Science Association. He published 10 books and was working on 2 more at the time of his death. He is without a doubt the only departmental professor to have been called that lackey of Wall Street by Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, who disliked Binkley's interpretation of the democratic government. He is also reportedly the first man ever to be awarded a Fulbright lectureship, which he used to teach for a semester in England. Other excellent teacher and prolific scholar was David Saffel, who was professor of the political science from 1973 to 2003. During his career, he published 18 books, including some influential secondary textbooks. One of the hallmarks of the faculty teaching in the department has been their longevity. Once they join us, they stay here. At 45 years, Binkley was the champion. Andy Ludani, who taught here from 1968 to 2008, is in second place. After them, there were many professors who spent 20 to 30 years in the department, including Robert Davis, who taught here from 1966 to 1997, Ellen Wilson, who taught here from 1982 to 2014, Joanne Scott, who taught here from 1987 to 2015, and Dr. John Lomax and Dr. Michael Loughman, who began here in 1989 and are still teaching, although this is Dr. Lomax's final year. Another feature is the camaraderie that exists among the faculty. Visitors from other departments on campus, as well as those from the other universities, typically mention that we seem to get along so well. In an interview, Ellen Wilson credited that to Bob Davis, who served as the departmental chair from 1969 to 1997, with the closeness of faculty. According to Wilson, Davis enforced the rule that we talk about it, and we talk about it, and then we vote on it, and then we shut up.
Wilson later served as the department chair and kept this policy in force, as has Dr. Rob Alexander, who succeeded Wilson. So this group cohesion still exists despite the wide range of personal and political philosophies held by departmental members. The current faculty teaching in the department includes, in order of seniority, historians Lomax and Loughman, who arrived together in 1989. Historian Ray Shuck joined in 1997 and was followed by political scientist Rob Alexander, who arrived in 2002. Like Binkley, Alexander also graduated from ONU in 1994 and is currently the chair of the department. The next arrivals were historian Russ Crawford and Rob Waters. Crawford came through the conventional hiring process, but Waters was blown up to Ada by Hurricane Katrina, as he'd like to say. Political scientist Kofi Nazia-Pepra arrived in 2008. Political scientist Musta Kranzako and geographer Katie Roster joined up in 2016, and historian Catherine Albrecht began teaching for us in 2017. Political scientist Aaron Sparks is currently teaching for us as a visiting professor, but will be moving on at the end of the year. We are currently searching for his replacement. Making the work of the department function smoothly has been our administrative assistants. Pat Batterster served in that role for many years before being succeeded by Catherine Baker, who left to make way for Dorothy Brown. Brown now helps faculty remember important things and helps to make sure that students will graduate. That work has also been made easier by the quality of the students who have come through to study with us. Some of those have gone on to do great things. The list that follows, in no particular order, is only partial, but includes some of the stars who have gotten their academic start to life with us. Simeon Davison graduated from Ohio Northern University in 1889 and then from law school in 1894. As a United States Senator, he chaired of the Republican National Congressional Committee and served from March 4, 1923 to January 3, 1935. Robert Cupp earned his degree in political science with high distinction from Ohio Northern University in 1973 and also got his law degree here. He has served as a state senator, a justice on the Ohio Supreme Court, and is now in the State House of Representatives. Michael Grandillo earned a degree in political science. He is currently the president of Madani University. Cheryl Mason graduated with a degree in political science and psychology. In 2017, she was nominated by President Trump and conferred by the United States Senate as the chairman at the Board of Veterans Appeals. Before her confirmation, she served as an attorney with the Federal Labor Relations Authority and with the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. Caitlin Kegley graduated with a degree in social studies and a public history museum studies minor in 2012. She earned her master's at Indiana University, Purdue University. She has worked at multiple museums, including Carnegie Museum of Natural History, the Indianapolis Zoo, and the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. She is currently employed by COSI as a supervisor of frontline operations volunteers. Robert Alexander earned a degree in political science in 1994 and is now a professor of political science at Ohio Northern University. He published 3 books, including the definitive work on the faithless electors and the Electoral College. He appears on a number of national and international media and is a contributor to the Huffington Post. Mike Turner earned his degree in political science from Ohio Northern University. He is currently the U.S. Representative for Ohio's 10th Congressional District, serving in Congress since 2003. Turner also previously served as the president of NATO Parliamentary Assembly from 2014 to 2016. Jody Blankenship earned his degree in history and education from Ohio Northern University. He is currently the executive director of the Connecticut Historical Society, where he serves as only the 5th director since CHS was founded in 1825. He came from Connecticut from the Kentucky Historical Society, where he was the education director since 2009. Jared Ross Hardesty is Associate Professor of History at Western Washington University. He earned his degree in history at Ohio Northern University. His book, Unfreedom, Slavery and Independence in 18th Century Boston, examines the lived experiences of slaves in 18th century Boston and demonstrates they were part of an early modern world where notion of class difference, and dependent structured and defined social order. Those are some of the notable alumni, but there are many more. Our students have won awards for their work on the mock trial team started by Dr. Scott. They have excelled on the Model United Nations team started by Dr. Ludani, and they have studied abroad in a wide variety of nations. They have gone on to complete graduate degrees, they have taught across the United States, they have become lawyers, elected officials, enlisted in the military, and worked in museums, along with holding positions with various branches of government. Our faculty members have accomplished much, but the quality of our students has made the work in the classroom the most important and the most enjoyable part of our work.